Hello and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm of course George. Welcome along to the channel, everybody. It's another video from me, the second one in 2 days. We are churning it out, prolific, prolific at the moment. Why not? There's more and more getting done in terms of Leeds United. Leeds, of course, played their first pre-season friendly today with arch rivals Man United, a friendly game in inverted commas, of course. Ended 0-0. We'll have a little speak about that, but I didn't actually watch the game, so I like people in the comments to let me know how people played. We're going to dive into what Farke said a little bit as well after the game, and just speak on that as well for a moment. But first of all, there was news before the game kicked off that Leeds are closing in on German midfielder Anton Stach, who plays at German Bundesliga side Hoffenheim. Now, this interest has been going on for about a month or so now. We've known about, Leeds' interest in Stach for some time, and it seems like we are now getting to that. Of course, the signing of Sean Longstaff was announced last night. About 9 o'clock last night came the news that Longstaff had signed. Longstaff indeed played for Leeds this afternoon, the second half of the 0-0 draw with Man United. So his signing was done probably, I don't know, probably a couple of days ago, wasn't it? Really, they were just waiting. I don't know how they do these things. It's never the same day, is it? It's always done a few days before, you would have thought as well. And he travelled, from Austria to Leeds, then to Sweden. So I think it was done on Wednesday, maybe, or Thursday, the actual signing, but obviously announced last night. Now, Stach will be, the midfield area looks stacked, doesn't it? With the addition of Stach, which personal terms have been agreed. The deal is on. It's a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. And yeah, I'd like to know in the comments below, any Hoffenheim fans watching as well. Let me know what we can expect from Anton Stach. Of course, Stach was subject to interest from Liverpool a few years ago. It came from Jurgen Klopp's old team, Mainz. So that was probably where that sort of a little link came from. It was probably about, I think, 2.5 years ago he was linked with Liverpool. That shows just how well thought of he is. He's a German international. He has, I can't remember off the top of my head how many caps he does have for Germany, but it's in the single figures. But obviously Germany are a decent side again nowadays, aren't they? So difficult side to get into. Maybe the Premier League exposure will give Stack the opportunity to get back into his national setup, but let's wait and see. But let's wait, I'd like you in the comments there below to give me your midfield too, because I think we'll play with a two. I think Leeds did play a 4-3-3 today, so maybe we will at times play with a three, and that's why he's stacking the midfield with Stach, with Longstaff, with Tanaka, Ampadu, Gruev. I don't think any of the boys will go out. I don't think any of them will be sold at the midfield. I think we need a good squad full of players that we can call upon, give injuries and such things. We don't want to leave ourselves short. So I would say, what are they? 5 of them there. I think all of them will stay and will fight for the place. And let's see who gets the opportunity. And if Stack comes in, for me, it's got to be Stack and Tanaka. But you know, you think you spend a bit of money on a Premier League experienced player like Longstaff just to sit on the bench, but it's up to him to fight for his chance to play, isn't it? But let's wait and see what happens with the midfield. But Stack is a very good player and a very exciting addition to the team. He would be our sixth signing of the window, I think now. And I believe that then you go into the attacking players like we spoke on yesterday. Paxiao, I know Graham Smythe today has done an article as well, and he has said that Mr. Rodrigo Muniz, who's currently playing at Fulham in London, I feel like he is a target of Leeds. It's been known for about a month or so now as well that he is liked by Leeds, and Leeds are pushing, but I think Fulham want a really, really heavy fee for him. You're talking 40 million, plus for this fella, 24 years of old, Brazilian player. Fulham think very highly of him, so we're going to have to spend that brass if we want to acquire his services. So let's wait and see if that happens. But obviously, Graham Smythe is a very reliable source for Leeds United news on social media nowadays. Now Phil has hung up his pen, shall we say, or whatever. So Graham is now sort of the go-to guy for Leeds news on social media, and he was saying today basically that Patrick Bamford, is no longer plan, you know, has no part to play in Leeds United's Premier League season. He's been told that by Daniel Farke, and Farke spoke on it. He said very emotional conversation with Patrick about it. He was upset because he loves the character of Patrick. A fully fit Patrick Bamford, I think he said, was an asset to the squad. But the fact is, he can't stay fully fit. He's getting a little bit older now, is Patrick, and he didn't score any goals last season. He didn't really play much of a part last season, did he? Obviously injured for most of it. The previous season, he scored some important goals for us in the Championship, but didn't last season. Didn't score a goal. I think it's time for him to move on, and I don't know where he's going to go. But this doesn't really matter to. It shouldn't be a concern of Leeds fans where he goes. The fact is, the bottom line is, Daniel has seen fit to say to him, look, you're not part of the plans, and off you go. And I think, will that mean that we bring in another striker as well as, say, a Muniz or a whatever? I wouldn't have thought so. I think Namisha, who apparently played very well today, um, I think he is your Patrick Bamford replacement. Patrick will go out. I don't think Mateo Joseph will. I think Fark likes him enough to keep him around, and I know Real Betis have had, um, you know, bids rejected for Joseph. So I think Joseph will play a part in some way. Obviously, we've got Perot. We'll have, you know, obviously potentially Muniz, and he'll be the star man, of course. Then you've got Namisha. So there's four there. I think if we get Pak Shao, I think he can play up top as well. So there's options there, and I don't think Patrick really, and himself being realistic with his own self, will probably say, actually, yeah, it's probably time for me to move on and get first team football if he can stay fit. So hopefully he can find a suitor. Hopefully he can stay fit. But I think it will be time for Patrick to say goodbye. And obviously, clearly it is. Now, thinking on the other side of it as well, a lot of people don't like this fella, but Jack Harrison, of course, started the game, played the first 45 minutes of today's draw in Sweden with Man United. By the look of it, he didn't play so well, but I think the fan base are tarnished now. The fan base don't like Jack, basically, and but fair play to me. I think basically he's saying, if Jack knuckles down, which he has done, he said in the couple of weeks that they've had training, that I think he can have a little part to play here if he knuckles down and shows his worth in the pre-season matches. And I honestly don't see an issue with this. I don't see an issue with this at all. Jack's very much a Premier League experienced player now. He's played there for the last 5 years, including three with us, and then the last two with Everton. He's still our player. He's still at a good age, 28, and I don't see an issue with him if he plugs in and does well. What's the issue? I mean, hark back to the fact that when he came in, Junior Firpo he was told that Junior Firpo was the worst signing ever. Junior knuckled down, and Fark said, yeah, he left here a hero of Leeds, last month. And yeah, that just shows you, things can turn around. He also mentioned Brendan Aronson, who obviously went on loan when we got relegated. Fans weren't so hot on him coming back into the squad. He did. He played well. He did well last season. And the fans, the minds change on him. So maybe Jack can do that. I think Jack will be in the squad next season. I think he will. I think he can offer something in the team if he knuckles down and is an extra option out wide. I think he can play as well at left back, can't he? So, he's an option there to I would utilise him if he can get up to speed. And the fans will soon turn with good performances. But let me know your thoughts. Would you keep Jack? Would you sell him? Because I don't know who's going to take him at this point, really. You know, like the days are ticking down in this transfer window. I know it's sort of late July now, mid late July, but soon enough it'll be August, and then you start to think, right, there's only 4 weeks or so left of the window to get a move. So I think he will stay. But yeah, you know, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's another option. It's an experienced option now at a Premier League level. So I don't think there's really a problem with that. But let me know if you feel otherwise in the comments there below. I think that's pretty much everything. Obviously, the game today. Let me know how we played if you saw it. But 0-0 with Man United, an opening pre-season match isn't the worst thing, is it really? I know Man United are a little bit of a joke nowadays, but they're still an established Premier League, obviously, you know, Premier League side. They had a good squad on there. Both teams rotated every single player, for the second half. So yeah, that was it. First pre-season game. We've got another one in a couple of weeks. Or is it a week? Like, when's the Dublin one? I can't remember. But yeah, maybe that's coming up soon before. Is that before the Villarreal game? I'm not sure. Somebody let me know in the comments down below. But we've only obviously got two left before the season starts on the 18th of August, Monday Night Football with Everton. So let's wait and see. But thank you very much for joining me this evening. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts on, the incoming of Stack and any other rumours that you might have heard. But like I said, I like to keep it, focused. I mean, that's a bit of a news video, really, as well. But the main headline is really that Stack is coming to Leeds. It has been confirmed, and it's a here we go. Thank you very much for watching, marching on together, and I'll see you on the next one.